it is coming from. And I'm being interrupted, I think. Someone is just stepping into the back. He might be getting his set ready for when, well, I won't announce anything just yet, but
Justin, remember this?
he's making himself at home.
Remember playoffs?
I love it. He's already getting ready. Just a little,
Let's do it.
let's do it, shall we? Let's not waste any more time. I've just been sitting here vamping, waiting for you.
If I have poor mic discipline, make sure you tell me, guys. You know I'm supposed to be eating the mic. How you been?
I've been great.
It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you, and I was gonna say, it's a little weird that we were kind of two ships passing in the night, where I came on and we were talking about me starting this show way before the FBI job even
Well,
came
I didn't
to
know.
be.
I mean, I never mentioned that to you because
No.
it was not in the, what do they say, the bingo card? Like I never had, like, oh,
No
let's just,
idea, right?
By the way, the president calls though and asks you to serve. The only answer is yes. But I got to tell you, I did feel bad because I knew the Bongino Army. You guys and ladies out there
best.
are freaking rock stars. Like I love you to death. You have no idea. And, this experience is very illuminating. Like, you see who your real friends are. And you guys are freaking studs. Look at the chat
I know,
already.
the chat is blowing
Break
up. It's
that
going so
sucker.
fast. You
I
can't
know. It's not
even
even
read
it's not even on my channel. So wait till our channel comes back. But I felt kind of bad because, and this is how I know Haley's a real rock star and you're really loyal. Like, you could have said, hey, I didn't sign up for that. Like, I signed up to be part of the Bongino Army. There's not the Haley Army yet. Like, we want to. And not only did you stay, but you became a really high-level, top-level broadcaster. Your show's amazing. I watch it, and it's just like you said. I think it's just good to be back on the other side.
Good to be back.
Yeah, man. I used to. Once in a blue moon, I would just pop by and drive by the studio, and I would be envious of you. Look at that chat, man. You guys, I missed you guys so much. You have no idea. I really, really missed you all. So it feels like my extended family. But the show's going great. I hope you didn't mind me barging in early.
Oh, not at all.
I just saw the crazy cat lady thing, and I just had.
Oh, you had to take it out?
Oh yeah, I had to.
Well, that's not mine. Guy put that up there on my behalf. That's a joke.
Justin, you remember that was from the audience. That was the whole. Genie.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm a cat lady, but I'm not crazy.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean,
where do we start?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to start with you getting that call from the president.
Yeah.
And what that was like to kind of know that you had all of this, that you were going to have to give up temporarily. And I'm wondering, when you did the last show, how long did you think it was going to be until you came back? Did you know at all?
We always had planned for the first year. So, it's funny. Like, I got to get to that question. So don't keep that question in your head. Like, what I but it just reminded me, when you read the media spin, but you actually see from the inside what's happening. However bad you think the left-wing grifters in the media are, Haley, I promise you they're 10 times worse. The timeline was always for me to do the first year and help the Trump administration with my law enforcement background. Cash is a really, really good lawyer, had DOD experience, but they wanted someone with law enforcement in the experience, in that seat, excuse me. I loved the job, I wanted it, and this president is just an amazing guy. So I'm sitting there in my house. You've heard the story 1,000 times. I know you have. Justin's heard it too. He could recite this story himself. But I'm sitting in my house. I think it was like a Sunday night. I remember it was 8:20. The only reason I remember it was 8:20 is because I was falling asleep and I looked at my phone and it said Trump. And I thought, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like, the boss is calling, I mean, we talk, but not that often. I mean, he's a busy guy. And I thought, what's this about? And, he asked if I wanted to take the job. And I was floored. I was like, of course. I mean, I really hadn't thought anything through.
Right.
It would have been kind of talked about a little bit, but I don't know. It was just it just went down really fast, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Is that what you thought the call was about?
No, I had no idea.
Okay,
I had
so
no idea.
total surprise.
So I'm sitting there and I'm, I think I was falling asleep in a chair and I woke up with, groggy voice. Groggy voice is the worst, right? And I'm thinking, I hope he doesn't think I'm hungover or something like that. So I'm trying to, before I answer, I'm trying to clear my throat.
Wake up.
Wake up, smack yourself and stuff. And I get on, I'm talking to him. And this is how awesome this guy is. I mean, I tell you, it was the honor of a lifetime to work for him. He is just The guy is just a get it done, no bullshit, like go get the other bad guy's guy. And I'm telling you, man, it's like working for the Lone Ranger. It was awesome. But he told me this story. This is how he is. He's just an amazing guy. He says, so you want to take the job? And I said, yeah, I'll take it. And he said, you know, you're going to give up this successful show, and you got your wife at home and everything. Are they ready for this? He was a pretty tough job, but you sure you want it? And I said, yeah. And he said, let me tell you something. He said, you know, when I was president back in the first term, I was the commander in chief, and you're making all these big time military decisions, and you're wiping out, Russian mercs on a Syrian battlefield. He said, and then, 2020 happens, and I was back to doing what I do, running my businesses and making good money and doing all that. But he said, you know what, Dan? It's not the same. And he said, I get it.
Yeah.
Because, he knew it wasn't about the money. It's certainly not about the money for him. I don't even think he takes salary, he donates it. So that was it. And I knew that it was the right thing to do, was a calling. But I'd be stone cold lying to your face if I said, I didn't miss you guys in the audience, and even even the team. I say it like you guys are second best or something. Andy, who was new, and Justin and Guy, producer Jim, Mike. I mean, the whole team. I missed everyone. And when you're on the inside, it's not about you. It's about the boss. You don't go out there doing your own media appearances. It's not about you. It's about the mission, and it's about running the government. So it was kind of hard to stay quiet. But I'm not quiet anymore. Loud, obnoxious Dan Bongino, taking on the world of grifters, bums, shitheads, and life losers, is absolutely back. And just watch what's coming. It's going to be delicious moving forward. Because my giving and Fs, I think I gave 0 Fs before. But now
negative
it's like
Fs.
Now are we
in the
into negative?
negatives.
I think we're into a lot of negative Fs. Poor Jasmine outside. It's like, she hates when I curse. It's an F. It's not. There's that. Jasmine don't like when I curse or anything. But now it's like I am.
I drop them sometimes. I'm sorry.
It's a New York thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to. I get so passionate about this stuff. I mean, there's crazy stuff going on, and it just comes out.
See, Jasmine, I said Fs. I didn't use that actual expletive. See, she's already coming in here. Look I'm reading the chat. Love you, Dano. Love you guys too, man. It was. Who said that? Mad Life. It had to be hard for me to leave. Yeah, it really was. It really was. But, guys, and then ladies out there, turn up Dan's mic, says C-Biz. Or that's probably me. It's probably
Dan has the worst mic posture I've ever seen.
So you have to run out.
Mine is too good. I have my lip gloss on
know.
the mic
She's
itself,
not kidding.
so I'm like really close up on it.
She's not kidding. Like there's actual lip gloss on that mic. Is this my mic from last time? Is the actual mic? Is it same stand too? Man, you guys are good.
Same everything. You've been gone so long, you forget.
I know. I have my original mic from the first show. We should auction that off one day for like Wounded Warriors or something, don't you think? It's just sitting in my house.
That'd be cool.
And we should give all the money away. That would be just fantastic. We could help people do like a scholarship or something. That'd be cool. We should plan on that. It's got a dent in it too because I dropped it one time. So, a couple of things though too. I just want to say, sorry Haley, it's your show, but I never got to mourn Charlie publicly like everyone else, and I'm obviously going to have a lot to say during my first show, which we'll talk about in a second. But, rest in peace, brother. That was, he was not only a friend, but a good friend. I think everybody had a little piece of Charlie in their lives in the movement, and Charlie made everyone feel special. So I miss you, brother, and may God rest your soul. So that I know I'm going to talk about on my first show, but that's really important. And I never got to say that publicly, and I really desperately wanted to. I was devastated, as many people were, by that horror. I don't even know how to describe it. No one wants to even relive it.
Yeah. Well, going back to my question, and this kind of ties into that pretty well, when you took that call and you said, yes, I'm going to take this job, was it what you expected? Because certainly I know you couldn't have expected what happened to Charlie to happen to Charlie and everything that happened since then. So what was that like?
Yeah, it's funny. I was coming over here and I'm like, gosh, I got so much to say, and I never take any notes or anything. So I just was typing some stuff out of just some things that were in my head. And a couple of things I expected, but didn't understand the gravity of it because I wasn't in it. It's like anything else. I mean, if you were a Secret Service agent going to the DEA, you'd have to, relearn drug cases. They're not how, you would do protective intelligence cases in the Secret Service. So I knew we were walking into an agency that had a lot of problems. And I think that's understatement of the millennia.
Yeah.
When 80% of the public doesn't trust an institution, there's something wrong. And I was pretty clear with the guys and the women there on day one that, we were in charge. We were here to fix the place. And that was it. There was not an option two. Like it's our way or the highway. And I really found that there were two FBIs. And I'll talk about this a lot more in my first show, but there's the guys out there with the door kickers going out there, getting bank robbers, getting, VCAT cases, violent crimes against children, working white collar, working violent crimes, working counterterror, working counterespionage, tech guys. We have, divert agents, SOG agents, surveillance agents. And then there was the politically weaponized group, and they had to go. Okay, well, that's easy. Well, the problem is who's in what group.
Right.
They don't come out and tell you. No one comes out and advertises. It's like, hey, I was part of this. So Cash and I.
How do you find?
How
do you root out the corrupt guys?
Well, it was not easy. We had this. Cash and I did investigate, say a problem, find the perpetrators involved, and take action. And it sounds like a simple battle plan, but it's not as easy as we thought. And it took a little bit to get that moving. So that on the work front side, you got to remember, I got out of federal law enforcement in 2011. So when you're sitting there at the PDB every morning, the president's daily brief, it doesn't happen in the way that everyone gets their own, the principals and deputies get their own version of it. But you're getting the same material, and you see the national security picture, and you're comparing it to what you were used to back when you were in the federal government at a lower level, but you still got the generalities. Right. It was really shocking.
Wow.
The world is a really dangerous place. I mean, hello, Captain Obvious. But when it kicks you right in the balls and you're reading it every day, it's different because you're in charge.
Yeah.
When you're the principal and the deputy of an organization like that has the counterterrorism portfolio, there's no room for dicking around. It's just get to work right away. It's not like, I got to take a day off. I got the sniffles or something. It just doesn't work like that. So that was, but another thing I think that surprised me was, which is going to sound like a lot, you guys will be like, oh my gosh, the media? Yes, the media sucks so bad. I mean,
tell us something we don't know.
No, I know you're like, Dan, seriously, like you've done no, but when you actually see it from the inside, in that little principals, deputies bubble at the cabinet, sub-cabinet kind of level of what's going on, how the media F's with this president and the administration, it is unbelievable. Yeah, I wrote a couple of just quickies down. Even from little things. Everything is like a drama with these media people that's total bullshit. This New York Times guy writes his story. Justin, you remember Shouldergate when I grappled with them and the guy wrote a story like, Dan Bongino got injured grappling with the Quantico guys. Who the fuck cares? Why is that a story? Well, number one, I wasn't injured. It was my elbow. I was grappling with the boys down there because I just felt like it. This is like a New York Times story. And you're like, if this was the Biden team,
right,
they'd be like, heroic deputy.
Or they just wouldn't cover it at all.
They would goes rounds with, 30-year-old. And you're thinking, gosh, these guys are such dipshits. But they would call you about stories that were so clearly made up. Like this reporter called me and she's like, I heard you cleared out your office. Do you know how many times that story was printed that I cleared out my office? And I said, okay. I said, do me a favor. Because I knew it was bullshit. I mean, I must have been written about that I resigned like 100 times. I was resigned at the end of the year. That was it. There was always a plan. So, the rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated, your famous quote. But they would say, we heard you cleaned out your office. I said, well, tell you what, whoever your source is full of shit. I'll prove it to you. Ask them to take a picture of my office. And mysteriously, they never get back. But they'd write the story anyway. Like, they're just so full of shit. It's unbelievable. What was another one I wrote down?
Well, we know that the media is a threat, but you said that the world is a really dangerous place, and this job opened your eyes to that. What would you say is the biggest threat facing us right now?
I mean, it's hard to say what the biggest one is, but, you know, obviously China is a massive threat on the surveillance front. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of radicalization going on. You know, be careful of what your kids are watching online. A lot of teenage radicalization, watching these, you know, crazy 764 videos, those animal torture videos, you know, ISIS, AQAP, focusing heavily on the kids. They're persuadable.
Wow.
All a big problem. You know, it's all. You know, here's another one. While you're on the topic, you know, I saw this story a couple times. They wrote like, you know, the place is in chaos. I was like, well, how? By what metric is it in chaos? You know, they'd say, well, the world's going to be a dangerous place because the FBI is in chaos. I'd be like, the violent crime rate's the lowest it's been in 2 decades. The homicide rate's down 20%. It's the lowest ever recorded. And then you get these dipshits in the media. They're like, well, the FBI doesn't do homicides. Really? The FBI does. Gangs, RICO, Vicar, and gangs. Guys, Justin, did you know this? Gangs kill people. Were you aware? The dipshits in the media were totally unaware of that. They're like, you know, so we did this violent crime initiative. So that, I think we were really proud
Operation Summer Heat.
Summer Heat, yeah. Summer Heat was awesome. They crushed it. Something like 30,000 arrests. And then, you know, we just watched. I remember sitting in a meeting. Am I messing with your show? Guys, if you would just write in the chat, let Haley down, I'll bounce. I told you I wouldn't stay too long, but
No. Keep coming. Keep it coming.
I was sitting we had this big meeting every Tuesday and Thursday morning. That was another story, by the way, how we like canceled this big meeting, and it was only because, you know, the media dipshits didn't understand that we didn't want to drag everybody to headquarters. We wanted them to work.
Right.
And they didn't like it anyway, so we did it Tuesday and Thursday. But we're sitting there, and I said to the guys, I said, you know, how many murderers do you know in your personal life? And they were like looking at me like I was crazy. I said, none, right? You don't know any. And I said, that's because they're rare. You know, with something like 0.5% of the violent crimes, 70% of violent crimes committed by 0.5% of the population, and all of those people have been arrested on average 8 to 12 times. I said, bottom line, if we go pick these people off with gang collars, RICO collars, and something else, the murder rate's going to plunge. And it did. It wasn't complicated. Right. It just happens. That's what happens when you get shitheads off the street, is they don't do bad stuff. It's not really complicated. It wasn't rocket science. Broken windows, policing 101. So that was kind of fun.
But you did a lot to overhaul the FBI as it was versus how it is now under Director Kash Patel's leadership and formerly your leadership. And, you know, I feel like you coming back into this space is pretty bittersweet for people because they missed you as a podcaster and they missed your voice. But I think there are a lot of people out there that are thinking, well, we really liked Dan at the FBI because it was one of us. It was someone that we could trust. It was a patriot that was in there in the swamp, and he was supposed to do this work. Do you feel like how the FBI is right now? Do you feel comfortable stepping away and knowing that it's good?
Well, I wouldn't say anything's ever good in that, you know, I'm done worrying about it. I'm always worrying about things. I mean, human beings are, you know, corruptible. They are. There has to be mechanisms in government. You know, Federalist 51, if men were angels. Am I comfortable that Kash and I did everything we could in the past year to create institutional safeguards against things happening again anytime soon? Yes. You know, the problem is you can get new leadership in there later that can obviously change it. But I think over the course of the next 3 years, yeah, and of course it's always tough to walk away, but I was never going to be the long-term solution there. I was in there, you know, to be the hammer, to come in there and to get stuff done and to move fast, make some things that are good better, make things that are really bad good, and that's what we did. I mean, we moved quick. We moved really fast, really fast.
I don't know if you can answer this question, but how many people did you fire?
Oh. Well, the New York Times. It depends who you listen to. I mean, the New York Times tell you we fired, 55,000 people despite only having 38,000 employees. They were saying, but we had to move. There were a lot of personnel changes. I'll leave it at that. A lot,
okay.
Significant personnel, and the leadership I'm reasonably confident is completely different at this point than it was. I'm not sure there's that many folks left from before. So
wow. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah,
that's
were a
very
lot
good
of
to hear.
And, it was interesting because you'd see both sides of it. New York Times would hit us saying, I can't believe that they're making all these personnel changes. And other people would say, well, I'm making personnel. That's how you know there has to be some, longitudinal institutional stability because of the counter-espionage and counter-terrorist stuff. So there were hard decisions that have to be made. Yeah. But that's what it's about. I loved hard decisions. But I had a blast, man. I'm a happy warrior. I had a great time doing it. I see that clip gets kicked around a lot about me on Fox when Lawrence Jones asked me, what were you, how are your feelings? And I said, listen, it's tough. I gave up a lot. And of course, the, dipshits in the media are like, I wasn't whining, you freaking morons. They asked me a question and I missed Paula. It'd been 3 months in. I'm only a human being, but I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I had a blast, man. It's hard not to. Working for this president and this VP, they just move quick. I mean, at a speed I've never seen in government. They just don't take no for an answer. And I'll tell you.
I love to hear that.
I am as serious as a freaking stroke right now. Like, they just don't want to hear your bullshit. They don't care. They don't want to hear about, it's like, we need you to lower the crime rate within the bounds of the Constitution and your administrative guidelines. We just get it done. Right. You don't have to come back every 10 minutes and report to me. If it doesn't happen, though, you're fired. Like, you're out of here. He has no problem like moving you out at all. He doesn't care if you had a podcast, a radio show, $1 billion business.
So do you think it's different, Trump 1 versus Trump 2, and the people that he kept around him and in his cabinet and his inner circle? You think Trump is better now than he was in 2016?
It's hard for me to compare because obviously I wasn't in Trump. I mean, I was friendly with him and had a general idea from the outside about how things were rolling. And I saw, open source stuff like you did. But yeah, I think last time, 2016, he tried like the team of rivals approach, which, Lincoln did it. And I think it was at the time, given that he was new to politics, you can't say that was the craziest idea.
Right.
But a lot of people screwed him over. They just did. And then he's a smart guy. He didn't make the same mistake twice. Now he brought in people he knows are laser focused, who had no agenda. I mean, he knew what was I there for? I mean, I certainly wasn't there for the money. I'm not running for anything. I wasn't trying to be the director or anything else. And guys like Pete and everyone else, I mean, these guys, were unconventional picks. Yeah, but look at, if you're, one of our liberal haters or, black pillars out there, the skies for every day. And I'll say it to I think you saw it yesterday. Like, I'm like going to war with these.
Oh, well, we can't wait. You're back in a big way. You're back, but you're also back on social media.
Oh, yeah. I woke up, I'm like, I'll give it a week. And then I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm not going to give another week. I'm just going for it.
In true Dan form.
Oh, my gosh. Every day it's like, nothing has happened. Do you even read the news? Like, what are you talking about? The crime rate's totally collapsed. The border's shut. Inflation's under control. He just put out today a $1.5 trillion proposal for the military. They just bagged Maduro, by the way, with our guys, with our HRT guys and the great Secretary of War out there. You've seen peace deals break out. You have established borders in the United States. You've got a sense of national pride back. And you've got these anti-Trump black pillars pretending to be part of their movement, and they're not. They're full of shit. Don't buy it. There's big division in the Republican Party. People are furious. Really? That's funny. I put out a tweet today with a CNN poll. Freaking CNN, who would love to talk about, how the Republicans hate each other. I think it was at Harry Ant and Cat. And he's like, well, there's really no division. It's pretty much unanimous support. It's all bullshit. It's all like digital AstroTurf shit. And
the haters are going to hate, obviously, but you did get a lot done. And even I know from where I'm sitting and where everyone in the chat is sitting, people who are paying attention know all about Operation Summer Heat, and they know all about, James Comey and Letitia James and all of this. So what would you say you're most proud of?
Man, I mean, we did a lot, and I don't want to take any kind of celebratory victory laps, but, the pipe bomb case was definitely sensitive. Obviously, there was a lot going on. That's an ongoing investigation. But sitting there, I was sitting down, and it was. I had brought in a different group of guys to take a look at something, and I got a call, from a supervisor, totally out of the blue. And he said, hey, boss, are you sitting down? And I said, yeah, why? And he said, I think we got a suspect in this case. And I got to tell you, I was like blown away because I know we'd been busting our ass on it for a really long time. So that, there were a lot of down moments too, though. I mean, I will never forget sitting in my office in the 7th floor in the Hoover building, which we shut down, by the way, after like 500 years of finagling about it. I mean, it was ridiculous. They want to build some like $5 billion facility in Maryland. We're like, screw that.
Right.
We're going down the block to the Reagan building. All we got to do is refurbish it. But I was sitting there, with Gail Trotter, who some of you may know from, but she was my lawyer. She was my general counsel. And we were trying to figure out a way to fix this administrative problem, but it made it up to my level. It was getting to be a real pain in the ass. And I see, was it Sandra Smith on Fox? And having had it, who knows Fox better than you, but having had a show myself, and you worked there for years, like the golden rule of TV, live TV, is you never stop talking, ever. You don't just stop talking on TV, or you go to a cut, or you go to B-roll, or you go to a commercial. So I have the TV on mute, and I'm going to move this a bit, but I see Sandra Smith go like this, put her head in her hand, and I noticed her lips aren't moving, like she's not talking. So I'm like, wait, stop. I'm like, I turned the volume up, and of course the chyron is, Charlie was shot, and I mean, I think it was about an hour before they said on TV that he'd been declared dead, but we knew right away, and I remember Cash running in and just saying, he's dead. And I was just, I don't know. It was just so hard for me to grasp. I mean, Charlie and I had chatted all the time. And, I know I'm not knocking anyone. People put out their texts out. Well, I'm not going to be doing any of that. I got a couple of nice photos of me and him. I think it'd be nice to show people. But we would text each other endlessly about the radio business, the podcasting business, about candidates, people we liked, people we didn't like. And I think it hit me like it hit everyone. But I just, when Cash walked in and told me that, I just couldn't believe it. I think we all hoped like maybe some miracle was going to happen. So, yeah, that was a tough one.
I mean, that was a hard day. I mean, I had maybe emailed and back and forth with him, booking him on shows in my day at Fox, but I didn't know him like you knew him and like other people knew him. And even sitting in this chair, I could not hold it together. I mean, he's my age.
I saw you.
And he had a whole life ahead of him, and clearly a movement that is, it is in motion and it is not going anywhere. So I think that's something that's really encouraging. But, being in the FBI during that is totally different. You don't have time to grieve. You have to jump into action.
Yeah, and that's a story. Because it's being litigated now, obviously, but that's a story one day. And there was a moment. I just remember someone walking in and saying, I think we got the suspect. And I was just, it was just so much. You know who was really close with Charlie? Paula. Because Charlie used to call about, AmFest and events and Turning Point events. And because, as most of you out there know, like I can't do anything without Paula at all. So Paula has the schedule. So I always send everyone. So I would just send Charlie or Andrew over to Paula.
Right.
And Paula knew Charlie almost as well as I did, because for years and years and years we had done events for him and everything like that. And that's why, she was just devastated too. It just really ate us up. That was a day. You asked me before, like leaving the FBI and the change versus coming back, where do you think you're more valuable, or the gist of your question was that. That day, I knew, God had put me in the right spot. Like I had to be there. I wanted to be on the air badly, really badly. I just wanted to just be a bridge for people for a while, but I knew I was in the right spot. I knew it. But that was hard.
Yeah. Well, not to change gears, but we do have some exciting news here at Silverlock. And
there is? I was unaware of this. There's exciting news?
Thinking maybe you could
Justin's like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Jasmine's like, you better tell me. I'm the businessman.
I think there are a lot of people waiting in the chat to hear something. So what's next for you?
Well, the show is definitely coming back. So look at it. I haven't got to read the chat. My eyes are going really bad, but I can see far. I just can't see up close. We love you guys. Thank you guys. Oh man, you're the best. Vince was there. Yeah, Vince is great. I'll be doing an interview on Vince's show too. He's the best. So Rumble Wallet Bitcoin tip. Chris from Rumble. Look at Chris. So that's Chris, right? My eyes are good there. All right. Thank you, Chris P. Rumble. You're the best. You know we love you. You know we love Rumble. This Bitcoin thing is pretty cool, I think.
Very cool.
So the show is definitely coming back.
When?
Early February. We will release the date. Yes, thank you guys in the chat. Thank you to the fuck yes in there. That's my favorite quote so far. Thank you. Yeah, yes, thank you guys. I'm serious, man. I love you guys so much, and just to be back with you.
Wow, the chat is flying.
Mixing and mingling with the chat is gonna be awesome. Early February, very early February, we will put out a press release with Westwood One and Rumble this coming Monday. So just a few days from now, which will provide the date. It's going to be early February, and we're going to be ready to roll. And I told the guys, Andy, you hanging around with us for a little bit? Because we're going to need some, I said, we're going to need some support. I told producer Jim, you got to fly his ass in here. That first show, usually we would put together the show night before, morning of. You know, it's like at Fox. I said, that first show, I got a lot of stuff. It's on my phone, folks.
Weeks ahead of time.
I took so many notes. I mean, obviously, I can't talk about classified stuff, right? You know, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of stuff we can talk about and provide context and color and, you know, crush a lot of the black pill bullshit out there. You know, nothing's happening, all this stuff. So, yeah, exactly. I went there to jerk around for a year. Like, it's so luxurious in Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about that I think is going to open a lot of eyes, and a lot of ignoramuses are going to get shut down. But I'm going to need some help because that first show could go on forever. We'll be 2 hours now, though. So 2 hours live, 10 to 12, 10 a.m. To 12 noon, obviously. And we are ready to roll. I mean, I've got so much content bottled up in my head. Can I just tease one thing?
Absolutely.
Listen, guys, I'm an activist at heart. Like, I just don't want you to think that I'm going to come back and there's going to be like endless, you know, FBI stories or complaining about, you know, Milton Friedman told Walter Williams one time, the two famous economists, when you talk about liberty, you talk about it with a smile. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to show endlessly, you know, talking about it. Yeah, we'll get through it and we'll talk about that stuff. But there's stuff I miss too, like the government shutdown. I could not believe. Do you know how bad I wanted to be on the air and say how? How the fuck is the government shut down over Obamacare? And the Democrats are pretending this is their argument.
Yeah.
You dipshits passed this. It's called Obamacare. It's not called Trump care, Reagan care. The effing thing is called Obamacare. It's they fucking called it Obama. They shut down the government.
Just keep
and
going.
They're like, hey man, this thing is really expensive. He ran saying what? Are you? He ran.
We're pumped.
He's back.
He's back.
He's back.
He's saying that this was going to make healthcare cheaper and accessible. It's called Obamacare. Then the Democrats come back and go, this program sucks so bad. We need more government money to bail out the failed program. It's supposed to be cheap. And like, how did the media, like, how did we miss that? I want to be on the air so bad. Like, is this real? You understand what happened, right? We're shutting down the government because we need more money for this shit program. It's your program. It's freaking called Obamacare. Man, I would have been on the air every day. Like, this is the Obamacare sucks shutdown.
I feel you because we were off for just 2 weeks. And I thought, never again. We can't do this ever again. When I started this show, I did not take a vacation day this year. And the only time that we took off was for Christmas and until New Year's. The Minnesota Nick Shirley thing happened. The Venezuela thing happened. I said, I need my show back. So I cannot imagine what you feel like, you know, sitting in DC, you're in the swamp and there's all these things happening and you just can't talk about it yet. But we're coming to the end here. And I was going to ask you what you're most excited about to talk about on day one. But I feel like we might
just kind of blew it. It was wait, we got to fuck you, Dan, in there. We got Hey, you too, pal. I'm telling you, just wait. just wait. This is going to be a glorious return. The Godfather's back. I promise. You have no idea. He is so back. How I wanted that Obamacare thing was driving me freaking bananas. I wanted to say something so bad, but when you're in there, Hatch Act stuff and all these other things, there was that. I also wanted to talk about tariffs, the border, especially the border. How this should be. I'm like blowing up my first show. I was like, hey, let's do 5 minutes.
We can leave it as a tease.
No, all right.
Maybe a message to
I
the
can't
black
go to sleep
pillars,
tonight.
and then you can take us out.
I'll never get out of this one. The border being shut down should be like the biggest story ever. From like entire countries being imported into the United States in 2 to 4 weeks to almost zero should be the biggest story ever. And of course, the media just ignores it. And that's where I think, we were the bridge. And the black pillars out there, listen, guys, I'm not coming back to the Bongino Army. Again, said it 10 times. I'll say it 20 more. I love you guys. Actually love you guys. You've been with me through thick and thin. I've been doing this political commentary stuff since 2011. It's been 15 years. I've been through ups and downs. The Romney cycle, the DeSantis-Trump cycle, the Cruz-Rubio-Trump cycle. I've been through Obama, Biden. I've been through all this stuff. The reason we've always been at the top of our game is we never sold out our principles ever. So when I come back, if it's going to be, endless complaining, then just don't watch. The shows, it's okay. This is a constitutional republic. You're not obligated to listen to my show. Justin, what was the line on the air with Jim? It's not a freaking airport, man. You don't have to announce your departure. You get these black pillars. The thing about black pillars, where everything sucks all the time, is they're like, well, we're demanding accountability, but you're not great. So am I. You're endlessly complaining about things you don't know anything about. That's all you do. He'll shut down the border, 10 people across a month. Why wasn't it 0? Okay. Well, can you just acknowledge going from 1 million to 10 is a big deal? That way, and there's a cost to that. And the cost you see is in, polling numbers around the midterms. You can't let this negative vibe constantly set in. That doesn't mean healthy debates about policy are not welcome. Hey, I'm not a big tariff guy. I've said that 1,000 times. Debating policies are fine. I think a lot of the so-called damage from the tariffs was dramatically over-exaggerated. Even people who don't like them having to acknowledge that now. The economy's motoring, 4% growth. But the black pill complaining and whining all the time about the administration, it's just like, man, what team are you on? Holy Moses, man. So you don't have to watch. It's okay. There's a door. Go find the freaking exits, because I don't really give a shit. I'm not here for anybody's money or anything like that. I'm too old for that shit.
Well, we're all very excited to have you back. So I just want to say welcome back. Welcome home. And thank you for your service. And thank you for coming on Nightly Scroll. I appreciate it.
Now, I'm going to move this over so you can take back the desk.
All I'm going to say is thank you so much for watching tonight. I know this interview was